being at Drake, you just were not a basketball player. And that was what my coach had promised to my brothers and sisters, that I was not just going to be a basketball player, that I was going to graduate. And so I had to work as hard in the classroom as I did on the basketball court. So my future was parallel. My future to graduate was truly getting my work done in that classroom. When I'm on the road doing my work, getting my classwork done, having my assignments done, having read my book reports, being ready to discuss those things in class, and what have you. While playing basketball, my job is to give 120% out there on the basketball court to try to win, to represent Coach John is what I focused on, represent Coach John, Drake University, and myself and my family. It all goes back to my mom. By the time I was 6 years old, just before she died, and there were my older brothers and sisters. There was six older than me, 5 older than me, and 2 younger than me, of the 9 of us. My mother had taught us. My mother was a wonderful lady, and I wish that I had gotten to spend more time with her as we were growing up before she died. But even though that, she had taught us the tools that we needed to succeed and survive by the time she died. She taught us respect for each other, knowing how to and who to respect of the adults in our community, knowing who to respect. And she taught us these simple little things. One is, look into their eyes. And when you look into their eyes will tell you whether they are sincere or they are not. Their eyes will tell you whether you're welcomed or whether you're not. And so she had taught us to go for the eyes, look into their eyes, and if you feel comfortable and safe with them, then go for it. Go with your feelings. That is the thing that survives in me today, is that I can look in people's eyes and I can tell from people's eyes what they're feeling, because God has allowed me to see their hearts through their eyes. Coach John, see, I lived in a very segregated environment, of course, segregated in the South in Mississippi under the Jim Crow laws and the Ku Klux Klan where I was born. And then coming to Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana was segregated in those days as well. And so you lived in an all-black community, and you go to a black school, and you compete with, the only time I have any contact with whites was when I competed with them on the basketball court, the athletic field, or the football field. So those were my experiences coming here. When I got to Drake University, there was an adjustment that I had to make instantly. I had to acclimate myself to the Drake environment. First and foremost, people would not understand, is the food. Because in my home and in Gary, Indiana, we have Southern cooking, comfort foods, and those kinds of things. Greens and cornbread and ham hocks and sweet potatoes, and all of that was what I grew up eating. And when I come to Des Moines and eating at the dining hall, it was not the same foods. So that was an adjustment for me. An adjustment for me was meeting people, being involved, being around whites, because my world was all black, and here I'm now trying to make friends with people from the students in the white community, and that was an adjustment for me. I had to learn how to speak the language. I learned how to dress appropriately, and so those were adjustments. And then on the adult side, having come out of Mississippi, knowing that you got to be careful not to disagree with white adults, because you could be killed for doing that, and you could be severely punished when you disagree. And so when I came here, man, everything that white adults said to me, I did not, whether I wanted to have an opinion or not, I would not voice my opinion. I just said yes, yes, thank you, yes, yes, yes. And that's the adjustments that I had to make. It was scary at times in my first few months in Des Moines, and finally I became more and more comfortable, because Drake made me comfortable. When we talk about the future of my university, a university that I have loved so dearly for so many years, I have learned, and I even tell some of our students that want to listen to me, that Drake University, I call her my surrogate mother. And I tell folks that she is a very fragile being, that she needs our support. She needs our love. She needs you as students to find out about her history. Don't just come here, get your degree, and leave. And in the process, you haven't learned about her history. You haven't learned about some of the people that came here to make her as great as she is, to keep her in the forefront of the college institutions all over the world. You haven't contributed to her. You need to find out about her bones, and her spirit is all over this campus. Seek it out, find it out. And when you do that, you become a much more passionate and loyal person about this university. And then when you leave us, you won't just leave us and never turn around and look as though you're going to turn to salt as you turn around and look. When you leave her, you will always support her. You will always defend her. No matter against who, you will defend her in the entire world, because you'll be so proud of her, what she has done to help you become the person that you are today.